What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Rich Nice back once again. So today we're in the shop. We're doing something a little bit different. We got a new toy for the shop, and it's in this crate right here. It's Vevor, which I don't think is Vevor. We ordered a different name brand, but it came in as Vevor. So we'll see what's inside. But to get you a sneak peek, 7,000 pounds, 120 volts, 60 hertz. Wonder what that could be. Well, I'll get the lid off, and while I get the lid off, y'all go ahead and watch this intro.
Dark side, light this bitch up.
So in the box, we have our cables, some instructions. We have one extension, right here. We have the other extension over here. Other extension. We have our risers, extensions. There's 4 of those. Another one. Another one. And another one. And we have some wheels and casters. As you see, one just popped out. Then we have the we have the pump itself. And then we actually have the lift arms. But as you can see, they're bolted in. So I'll get these out and get this box out of the way, and then we'll be able to look at everything. All right, YouTube, we got it unboxed. We got our 2 legs. So basically what this is a 7,000-pound portable lift. Since we don't have our second door cut into our shop right here, and I can't put a lift on this side of the shop over here, just because there's a whole bunch of junk over here, but that's beside the point. But we don't have a way to get vehicles in and out, and I can't put it this way, you know, facing this way, because it'd be too hard to try to turn the vehicles and try to get on the lift, all that good stuff. So I opted with this. That way this is portable, so we can actually take this on the road if we needed to, because it runs off 110. So these things are heavy. They weigh about 100 pounds a piece. We got our connection hoses. We did have these L brackets, or these U brackets right here. These were used to hold it down, and it had these bolts that bolted all the way through the box, through the bottom. They had everything in place. So we will keep these just in case we might need these for a different project. We will keep the little U brackets just in case we need those for a different project. And here we have splacer blocks for height and everything else along with these. And then we have our 2 extensions for longer vehicles like trucks and SUVs and those type of things. And then we have the pump itself. We really can't put this thing into operation just because we don't have the hydraulic fluid, or I think it's some Dex 3 or something like that, transmission fluid. But we'll get into that once we get through the menu instructions right here and go from there. But this is just a quick overview of what's coming. You know, if we get our lift, we're getting ready to work on some stuff. So, all right, YouTube, we have our handles on. We have our wheels on. These handles, there's an L. They come with an L bracket, so the other piece fits up in between these two. You don't want to put that piece on the bottom. So if you flip this handle over, it'd be too close to the ground, and you would squish your fingers every time you would try to move this thing and you set it down. So at least if you put it up here, you can actually get your hand under and lay it down and not squish your fingers. So other than that, we have all our stuff hooked up, so we're ready for these. Now when you're putting these underneath the vehicle, and I'll show you in another video, but you want these on the outside of the vehicle. That way they're easier to get to or whatever. And then we got our oil, so I have to go get the oil out of the car, and then we'll be able to plug this thing in and test it out. So we're using this heavy duty transmission / hydraulic fluid. It calls for ISO number 46 on the directions, but I just went to Walmart and got this. It should be the same. If it's good enough for a John Deere, it should be good enough for this. So we'll get this thing filled up and we'll be back. All right, YouTube, so this little ball is right here, started at the bottom. As you start filling your tank, this little ball will start rising. So they'll tell you if it's high, low, or somewhere in the middle, which is where we have it right now. So the next thing we need to do is hook our lines up. The lines are pretty easy. Have kind of what like we have for the air fittings. Basically, you just take them, you push them on. This piece right here will snap up and lock it in place, and to pull these off, you just pull this back down and then twist, and this will come off. So just FYI. And pull it back, you just pull this thing back and it'll pop back off. Push on, you hear it click, and it's on. And they just pop off just the same way they go on. And these are the female ends. The actual lifts themselves have female ends on them too. And the other end of this female end is a male end that goes into the actual lift itself. So just like that. All right, I'll get this thing plugged in and we'll be able to lift something. All right, YouTube, we got our lines hooked up here. They come back this way. They hook them to our pump. So what we'll do is, over here, we'll grab our button. This is our button. So you have up and down. So let's see if we can go up. Takes a minute for the fluid to get out to the actual cylinder. So here we go. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to measure how tall this thing is while it's all the way on the ground, and then we'll measure how far it goes all the way up. Goes down a little slower when it don't have any weight on it. While it's down, I would say it's 4 inches while it's all the way on the ground. All right, now that's all the way up. Let's see how many inches did we go up. So we're right at 18. We're right at 18.5 inches. So basically we went up about 14.5 inches. So it should be high enough for you to be able to use a creeper or something like that to get underneath. The good thing is, it's just like the big ones. You have your safety latches right here. As you can see, you have these little notches. These little notches right here that this little piece sits in. So when you go up past the notch, you only have 2 of them. But when you go up past the notch and you let it back down, that will be your lock. And then to unlock it, you just pull this, lift it back up, pull that like this right here, and it'll slide past the locks on the way down and let you be able to go down. But you got to do that on all 4 of these. So just like that, we'll do this and we'll get this thing back down and we'll be back. All right, YouTube, you also have these spacers that come with the kit. There's 4 of these, and then there's 4 of the smaller blocks like this that fit in here, so you can be able to give some extra height to it just in case you have a lifted vehicle. And these actually screw out, so you can make them longer and all that good stuff. So you can adjust this to get more height, so you have more height when you go underneath it. It's up to you. So just like that, another toy for the shop that we're gonna put to good use, I'm sure. As you can see, we got a lot of things that we can lift, like the trucks, the old schools, the Jeep, Hellcat. We're not gonna be able to lift this because this, I think, weighs about 9,000 pounds or so, a little over 85, somewhere in there. I don't know, I'll put it in just, right here and let you know how much it weighs. But it's, I think, more than our lift can handle. So if it was a 1,500, no problem. But 2,500, as always, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing, hit the bell, hit the button. so you get all the notifications every time we pop a video. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've been here for a while, continue. We're about to do some big things, so hang around and find out. Till next time, peace. So our V-board lift, we put it in operation. We actually got a really good deal on this. We bought it from Home Depot, the big box store. And normally this thing is like $1,300 or something like that. With my military discount, because I'm a veteran and being tax exempt, this thing cost us $1,000 brand new for a 7,000 pound lift. So if you do your research, you'll figure out that these things can go all the way up to about $7,000 or $8,000. So I think we came out really well paying $1,000, well, it's about $1,100 for this, with all the attachments and all the accessories that go along with it, to include the pump and everything, for $1,100. So you might want to look into it, especially if you're a veteran.
Dark side, light this bitch up.